My mother, Ada Abatello Hershey, was born on March 18, 1920. She was one of 14 siblings born to Mary and Pasquale Abatello. She grew up primarily in North Bergen and Bergenfield, New Jersey, but her carefree childhood days were cut short when her mother died when Ada was just 15. She was one of the older children living at home, and so she quit school to stay home to help her father, who she lovingly called Papa, to take care of the younger children, Vinnie, Gloria, Albie, and Estelle. Mom loved to tell stories of her childhood, and we loved listening to them. Even though there were hardships, especially with the Depression, she had lots of fond and funny memories to convey to John and me. We loved hearing them. We loved hearing about the escapades of all the kids, who were our aunts and uncles. We loved the story about when she was taking care of the little ones at home, and if she was having trouble with their behavior, she would call up Papa, who was a tailor and had his shop just walking distance from the house. She said that he would stomp into the house and use a very husky voice, saying, "Where are they? I'll spank their bottoms." And the little ones would hide, or try to hide, under the bed, and she said their little fannies would be sticking out, thinking that Papa couldn't see them. Mom would love and delight in telling these stories, and we would delight in her delight in telling them. At the age of 19, she met and married our dad, John Joseph Hershey. Together with the help of other family members, they built a house in Lake Hiawatha, which was supposed to be just a summer getaway. But tragedy struck again in Ada's life when her first son, my older brother Bobby, got polio and died at the age of 8. Mom and Dad decided to move out of Hudson County, where they were staying at the time, and move to the Midvale Avenue Lake Hiawatha house. I was 2 years old. And a couple of years later, along came Johnny. It was, and still is, Ronnie and Johnny, buddies to the end. Ada loved her boys with an unbelievable zeal. She would brag to everyone and anyone about us. John and I were the recipients of Ada's gigantic heart. She never did get our names straight, though. She would call me Johnny, and she would call Johnny Ronnie, especially if she were to get excited, which happened a lot. If one of us were to run out into the street, she'd go, "Ronnie, stop! Johnny, no! Ronnie, Johnny!" She's probably looking down at us right now, bragging about us, and still getting our names confused. But we didn't care. It was just a part of the fun of being with Mom. Ada was an Abatello through and through. She lived and loved to be around people, to laugh and sing and dance, and boy could she dance. Her absolute favorite thing was to go out dancing all dressed up, and boy could she dress up. Our dad passed away when Mom was in her early 60s. Here she is at age 69. And as you can see, she had a hard time finding men or anyone of her age that could keep up with her. Until she found Nate. Nate the Great, we called him. And he was a great companion to Mom, even to the end of his life, when he passed away in January of this year. When Mom began to suffer from Alzheimer's, Nate stayed with her every night, taking care of her. He was an angel, and John and I are very grateful and appreciative of his selfless caring for Mom. After Nate passed away, John and I moved Mom into a nursing home where she could get 24/7 care that she needed. And even then, even in the nursing home, Her bubbly personality made all the people in the nursing home fall in love with her. I remember the first day that we moved her in. She was bouncing around introducing herself to everyone, saying, "Hi, I'm Ada Potato, but I'm a sweet potato." That was our mom, a people person through and through with a heart of gold. I know I speak for John as well as myself when I say that we were the luckiest guys in the world. We weren't born into a family rich in money, but we were born into a family rich in a mother's love. To be the recipient of Ada's gigantic heart was a true blessing. And so, Mom, we say to you now that you live in our hearts and in the hearts of all that you have touched with your love. In that way, you will never die. You were, you still are, and will always be our Ada, the sweet potato.